most impressed with was at halftime when we got the news that DeMarco was out, and we made the decision to go with a freshman, Taylor Heineke, because I felt like he gave us the best chance to win. And right away, our offensive kids all went up to him. Then the defensive kids came over from their side of the locker room, and everybody just kept saying to him, "Taylor, just play your game. We got your back. We got your back." And to have that kind of poise out of a team that had yet to win a CAA game, was playing in really the biggest game in our program's history. This was the game. We needed to win this football game, and very proud of the way the guys responded with that type of adversity.
Talk about your special teams made a couple big plays and seemed to set a tone today. Obviously, you threw a little trickeration in there as well. But talk about what that did for you.
Yeah, we went into this game very aggressive, Sean, that we were going to have a mindset that if we saw something, we were going to take it. And right from our first time kicking off, when we saw if we could get the ball over the front wall, we could recover it. And the guys made a great play, collisioned the ball, got the big turnover to PAT field goal with DeMarco running the option with Jared Brown. That gave us a 2-point conversion that put us up 11-0. And that's kind of the mindset we try to have as a team. We call our special teams our all-star team. And everybody on the team has to be on a special team. Doesn't matter if you're a starter, captain, 4-year player, All-American, you're on a special team. And you don't play for Old Dominion until you play on special teams. And by having that mindset and that attitude, our guys see it, they're aggressive with it. They know that's all we're going to do in practice. Every day we're going to start with teams, and it was big for us tonight, particularly when we were down 26-25. We needed something, and we got the block punt for the safety.
What kind of momentum shift did you see after that blocked punt? Your team came out after that and seemed pretty pumped up, and like you guys got a new fresh breath of wind.
Yeah, the energy came right back to our sideline, because at that point we're trailing 26-25. We go on a 25-0 run, they go on a 26-0 run, and we needed that. We needed to get the crowd back into it. And as soon as we do that, now this is the 4th week in a row that we blocked punts for points, and somebody's got to tell me if that's a record. I can't believe it isn't.
We'll find out.
We've scored 3 touchdowns, and we got the safety, and that momentum shift was huge at that point of the game. We need it, and that punt block unit came up big again.
Talk about that crowd. You said get that crowd back in the game. Talk about the crowd that you have here and the atmosphere you have around the program.
Hey, it's phenomenal, Sean. I mean, we played, what is it now, 17, Kim? Yes. 17 home games. They're all sold out. There's people on top of that garage over there. It's the hottest ticket in town. And tonight, the fact they all show up, we say we're going to have a blackout, and they all show up wearing black. Last year we have a whiteout, they all show up. There's just so much energy and enthusiasm from 2.5 hours before the game show. We do what we call the Monarch March, where we take a 15-minute march across campus. There's 2,000 people out there lining the ways, congratulating the kids, rooting them on. It's a great feeling as a college football player. And at this level, the FCS level, it's not something you see at many places. So our kids get a lot of energy from this crowd, and I thought they were big for us tonight.
What does this win mean for you guys in the conference and just confidence around the team?
Well, the first thing was it was just important to get a conference win. We needed to get a win, and when you play in the CAA, it seems like every week you're playing a top 20 team. That's who you're going to face. 7 Delaware last week. It's 20 Mass this week. There's more of them coming. So to get that win and get confidence, this is, with all due respect to everybody we've beaten so far, this is the best team that we've beaten to this point. It's the highest ranked team, CAA team, a team that's won a national championship. So we needed this. Our kids needed this. Our program needed it. And now it puts us in a position where hopefully we become a top 25 team. People nationally recognize that yeah, we had the best startup program in the history of college football, but now these guys are good. They beat a good team, and that's why we needed to get this win, was for that reason right there.
Have Rich jump in with a question just because he's on tight
Bobby,
deadline.
when it comes right down to putting Heineke in, Ong had been having some shoulder issues.
Right.
Had that made your decision pretty easy?
Yeah, it was a situation, Rich, where number one, we felt like Taylor Heineke gave us the best chance to win. And anytime we've got a player, whether it's a freshman or a veteran, I'm always going to play the guy who gives us the best chance to win. And also, Rich, Tyree Lee, plays tonight. There's 2 true freshmen taking their first snaps tonight, and Tyree didn't practice much this week. He'd been sick. He had a fever. Didn't practice Thursday. Didn't practice Friday. Had not taken a rep with our offense this week, and yet he goes in there and performs well. And it just goes back to Rich feeling like those kids gave us the best chance to win. You are right, Ong has had some issues with his shoulder that's limited him in some cases, but tonight was about Taylor Heineke and giving us the best chance to win the game.
You got to feel like it's not. There's no doubt now, is there? I mean, the way.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'll go back and watch the tape, but I know Blair Roberts is out there playing a lot tonight. Jaquale Bailey. I mean, there's 10 true freshmen out there on the field playing and competing, and then when you put the quarterback in, the kid that that was a big time recruit for us last year, the Georgia Player of the Year, goes out and performs like he did. 8 for 11, 119 yards, 2 touches, and I think he had a 60-yarder down here that was dropped. That would have been a 3rd touchdown. It makes me feel like this class is special.
How poised was he?
In fairness to people that haven't seen him, you've seen him in practice. He just came out here tonight and played like he does in practice. That was the same Taylor Heineke that I've seen since August, that we watch every day in practice perform. He did nothing different tonight than what we've seen in practice on a regular basis, and was not surprised at all, Rich, by the performance, nor were his teammates. His teammates, when they heard at halftime that Thomas was out with a potential stress fracture, every guy went right up to him and said, just do what you're doing in practice, we got you back, and the kid played like he's practiced.
How pretty a ball does the kid throw? When it comes right down to it, is this guy just an absolutely pure passer?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good quarterbacks in my 23 years, and that's the most difficult throw for a quarterback, is the deep ball that you've got to put in that 40 to 50-yard range, throw it on time, and all 3 of them he threw tonight were right on the money. They were right in the right spot, and it's our first time seeing him. It's his first time playing. He's not a secret anymore. Rhode Island's going to know who he is, and Towson and everybody else down the road here. But those balls are what we've seen, Rich, and seen on a regular basis in practice.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Coach?
Fire away, Dave.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to ask stuff.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
But just a remark or two about Taylor's play tonight, coming in. Kind of your thought process of bringing him in.
Yeah, the thought process was going into the football game that if something happened to Thomas, he was going to play, because we felt like he'd give us the best chance to win. And with Thomas's injury, Nate Ong has had a little bit of a shoulder problem in his throwing shoulder, which obviously is an issue for a quarterback. We felt like if something happened, Taylor would give us the best chance to win, and he did.
Just a remark or two about his performance, and did you get more out of him than maybe even imagined? Oh,
number one is poise. That's the number one thing that grabs you, how poised he was out there, handling the situation, and also the fact that the majority of his snaps, Dave, were with a freshman tailback who hadn't practiced this week. Tyree was sick. He hadn't practiced. And then when Angus got hurt and Colby got dinged up a little bit, it was, you got to go. So he was also not only trying to take care of himself, but trying to help Tyree in those situations. So poise is the first thing that jumps out, and then his accuracy, how accurate he is with the ball. And keep in mind, now this is a quarterback who can get a lot of reps with the ones in practice. Thomas gets the majority of the work. Taylor, for the most part this week, was running the scout team. So to go from running the scout team to going out there in a big football game, that's very impressive.
Any idea about the severity of Thomas's injury yet?
No, we'll know more Monday. The initial read that our doctors got was that it was a possible stress fracture in his lower leg. And when I was talking to the doctor, he said, Coach, it would limit his mobility. He's not going to be able to move very well at all. And number one, I didn't want to put him in the position where he could get hurt worse than he already was. And number two, I didn't feel like he'd be able to run our offense if he couldn't move. That's not Thomas's game. He needs to be able to move around, and that's when I made the decision to tell him to take his uniform off. Because I didn't want him to come back out with his uniform. I thought he'd try to sneak in and then go with Taylor.
That kind of helping. Unfortunately, you want to see it. You're starting to make your too, but you probably work pretty often with the backup running back as well, so that might help a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've been, Mario has been out, so Kobe and Angus have been with Thomas and Nate, and then Tyree and some other guys have been with me, and Tyree had to go in, I had to go in. It was just pretty much practice.
Talk about the confidence you get when you see your special teams going out making big plays.
Oh, definitely. I've never been so excited to watch special teams in my life. Knowing the punt team can make anything happen, punt return can make anything happen. they got us 2 points, which made me a lot more confident. We were down. I was about to go in being down, and they got 2 points, so it really brought it off my back.
Taylor, if you drew it up any differently, you making your first appearance, is this like a dream scenario coming in with a game on the line like this?
Definitely. Coming into the CAA, that's the best conference in the league, and my whole family being here, blackout, everything's going crazy. It was pretty sweet.
So everybody was here. Who was here from your family?
My mom, my dad, my sister, and my stepdad, and my sister's boyfriend. So they're all here.
What kind of confidence does this give you now as the backup quarterback, or going forward if DeMarco were ever to go down and you have to get put in this situation again?
It gives me a good amount of confidence. Just 2 touchdowns. But knowing that I have the receivers there and the linemen there that can make it happen, that gives me a lot of confidence.
How well did you throw the ball tonight?
I thought I did all right. There's a couple passes here and there that I was just, really threw one high, off my back foot. I was a little nervous at first. I just started getting into it.
How about the 2 touchdown passes? Did you just money those throws?
Yeah, I saw 2 safeties out, and I just knew I was going to throw to Larry pre-snap, and I just hit him on the run. And then the last one, the safety was up, Reed was behind him, I just chucked it, and he was there.
So you basically were getting your reads. This is the first game you've been in a college ball game, and you were actually reading where the safeties were and figuring out what to do. Right?
Definitely, that's what the coaches teach us during practice, and our defense being a good one, being on the scout team, looking at their defense, that really helps me.
When you heard at halftime that you were going to go in, what was your first thought?
I was about to throw up, stomach quenched. I was very nervous. I knew I could deep down. I was ready for it, but at the same time I was nervous, and I just need to get that first completion and get out of the way.
How rapidly did you try to warm up on the sidelines during halftime?
I ran out here as fast as I could and started warming up with Wickham, and I just had to get my arm loose because during warm-ups I was throwing horribly.
Now things kind of changed 2 weeks ago when Nate's shoulder started bothering him too. That kind of changed the depth chart a little bit as well, didn't it?
Yeah, he went down with some tissues and muscles that were separated from his rotator's cuff, and we were very questionable about him. But at the same time, I think he's fine. I think he's coming back into it. His arm's feeling a lot better. He's getting better. So we'll see what happens.
Do you feel? Depending on how long Thomas is out, do you feel like you really have to take a leadership role on this team now?
Oh, yeah. As a quarterback, I think you have to be a leader, unless that's just bad if you're not. Quarterback is the leader position, and I think whoever's on the field needs to be that leader. So whether it's me, Thomas, or Nate, we're definitely going to be leaders.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Doesn't even buckle. He just knows where to get the ball to, and that's just a testament to how hard he works and how hard the coaching staff works with him. So it's amazing.
Did the SEC miss on this kid?
Yeah, it was luck for us. Luck for us. And like I said, he could have played anywhere in the country. Right now, in my opinion, he's the best quarterback in the CAA. Just in terms of him and DeMarco, the best in the CAA for what they do.
Could you have dreamed up a more crazy win for your first CAA win, though?
Nah. Getting up 25, being on an emotional roller coaster and getting down by 1. Like I said, UMass is a good team. They're going to the 1A next year. They're a good team, and they came back and fought us. We got punched in the mouth, but we overcame it. Especially with all the adversity with DeMarco going down, and just we not knowing what's going on defense. We ended up going down a little bit, and then this kid stepping up, and our defense stepping up in the right spots. That's how the CAA is. It's the SEC and 1AA for a reason.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Be a great quarterback. The punt block was just something to turn the game around, to give us a chance to go back up and win the game.
Your special teams seem to throw a lot of tricks in there today. You got the onside kick, you kind of caught them off, that set the tone. You had the punt block, obviously. You had your kicker run for a 2-point conversion. Talk about throwing all that stuff in there.
All week at practice, we actually practice on this stuff. We actually practice special teams more than anything. So, we was ready for it. Everything that we did today was actually planned. Coach knew that we was going to do that. He actually knew that we was going to do that.
Talk about sending a message to first home conference game ever in the program. Talk about coming out, great home crowd, sending that message.
That was a great win as far as in the conference, because it's our first win as a team in this conference. Last week we took a loss to Delaware. We wanted to come back out strong against UMass and get our first win in the conference.